98.6% of us, I think, will die without a taxable estate. Hardly anybody has a taxable estate. Hardly anybody. So what has become popular? Life stage gifts. That story I talked about was selling that property for my stepmom. I have a chance to do something on the front end with a highly appreciated asset to fulfill my fiduciary duty to her, income for life. I will fulfill it all. She was 40 years the public librarian in her town, and my dad was 46 years the choir director at his church. Pastors came and went, there's Dad. They have a big stake in leaving something in that community. There's no doubt about it. I'm not acting capriciously. I'm acting in concert with how they live their lives. You don't be 40 years the public librarian for economic vitality. No, you don't, not at all. So your goal is to talk to everybody, and part of that might be, may we talk to you about ways to endow your annual support when you're no longer here to write the check. That is a perfectly lovely thing to say to somebody. If you have a donor giving you $500, $1,000 a year, that's a big donor to you. That is a big donor. May we talk to you about ways to endow your annual support when you're no longer here to write that check. Have you noticed that I'm saying you must be proactive? That if you just sit on your hands and say, smart people know what to do. Smart people make idiotic decisions just like uneducated people. I will tell you that story about sell your stock and then give us the cash. I had that very thing in Florida. This woman, this 83-year-old woman had a huge appreciation on stock, and her silly, uneducated broker sold the stock, capital gains, then federal 28% and state. She ended up giving us cash, and in her mind, here's how she thinks of that gift. It cost me to make that gift. Because she paid big, and her broker, who messed it up completely, lied to her again and said, the reason we did that is so you can deduct 50% of your AGI versus 30%. Liar. He messed up. So do not believe people know anything. The smartest people. My dad had a doctorate in economics. He used to go down the street and talk to his neighbor about their shared love of the Civil War. That would be Eli Lilly. Traveled all over the world, was an expert witness, taught in university, whatever. He gets his estate plan. He calls me, his daughter, in Bloomington, 4 hours away. And here he has a doctorate in economics, been a university professor forever. He says, I've discovered the cure for insomnia. Get an estate plan, 1 page, and you're out. Drive up here and tell me what it says. It's a foreign language to everybody. So this concept of, I'll just say you shoulda, woulda, coulda. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. No. We have to show them how to do it. And when Scott, bless his heart, talked about retirement plans, he gave you the answer. He gave you the answer because in this town, whether it's, people that are Lilly Pharmaceutical, retired people, Cummins people, IU, those people at IU are sitting on a powder keg and they have no idea how bad it's going to be because the taxation on retirement plans just keeps going up. Scott, this is my own made up. This is not, I have no legal validity, no reference, whatever. I truly believe the tax on inherited retirement plans will be 100% in fewer than 10 years. That's why I believe. And here's why I believe it. Because here's how Congress is looking at retirement plans, the largest portfolio items in the country. Here's what they're looking at. Number one, your employer funded it for you. And they got a tax deduction for doing it. And we, the government, didn't collect taxes in all those tax-deferred years that it grew and grew and grew, okay? Where's your own investment? None, okay? And in retirement, both the plan owner and spouse did not fully use the retirement plan in retirement. Congress has already said, why in the heck should that be an inherited asset to your kids? So they've attacked tax after tax. They put the net investment credit for the Affordable Care Act on retirement plans. They're coming after it in full measure. And when you say that to people at IU, that $5,430,000, they believe that includes everything that they own. The retirement plans, Scott said it, they are different. They are subject to multiple taxes. No matter what, they are not protected by that $5,430,000 from all those other taxes. Not a bit. So what should we say to everybody in this town? Hey, don't include us in your will or trust. Isn't that an odd thing to say? Here's why. because my house, my bank accounts, the car, I wish I had Lake Wawasee property, all that stuff. My kids could get all that without tax. Why would I give to charity something that my kids could get without tax when my largest portfolio item is 8 retirement plans? Why would I do that? That's crazy when my charitable giving is all by percentages as a beneficiary designation on retirement plans, because they cannot inherit that without a huge, huge price. Makes a lot of sense to give to charity the assets that cost your kids the most to inherit. Doesn't that make sense? Why would I give them a piece of anything that they could get without tax when I could instead designate a percentage? I could do 3%, 4% of my retirement plan to my favorite charities. And Scott's right, they get it without tax. And I can do that after I name my husband. I could name my husband because the law very much favors husbands and wives. No wonder marriage is so desirable. We get huge benefits. And one of the benefits is that I can inherit an unlimited amount from my husband and he from me during our lives free of any tax. I get unlimited marital deduction. I'm dating myself. Scott, when we were in law school, wasn't it a limited marital deduction? Remember those days? Remember those? Yeah. It used to be limited. Now it's unlimited marital deduction. We get huge benefits. So I could put on the beneficiary designation 100% Jeff Davidson, and then on the secondary, I can put percentages to one or more charities. I will tell you that even 20 and 21-year-olds are doing this. Somebody's from Habitat here. Habitat, those kids from Bloomington High School North that go through those experiences. And I've watched the dedication on cats and watched the cheerleader, the football player, and the single mom all sobbing in a row on dedication day. I've seen that. Those kids are changed. We should say as parents, hey, when you go out to your job, when you get a retirement plan, you could designate, 2% for Habitat after your lifetime uses, because it means what's left. It's a percent of what is left. How unthreatening is that? It's a percent of what is left after I use it, and if I like my husband, if I put him down there, right? That's it. And it is just the most revocable, easy thing to do. All of us could go home today, and if you have a retirement plan, go online and change your beneficiary designation to put 1%, 2% to your favorite charities. When Jean talked about the generational effect of philanthropy, my daughter, Sydney, who is now the marketing and communications manager for Pizza X, the best pizza in town. But when she got her first job years ago at IUPUI, she was married. She called her dad to me. How do I fill out my beneficiary designation of my retirement plan and life insurance? We said, honey, you could put 99% your fabulous husband, Henry Tilford. And honey, you could put 1% the Marion County Humane Society, where you got the first of your 2 rescued pit bulls. I said, do you think Henry could live without 1%? She said, I think he could. She's a planned gift donor. What is that? That's nothing. That is nothing. So we ought to encourage everybody. It's the most heavily taxed asset. It's revocable, a percent. And here's what else we say. You can take care of every other charity you care about in this manner. That is when Jean talked about that this morning and talked about the Community Foundation as a way to deal with people giving to more than one charity, here's the reality. We give to 3 to 5 charities in an estate plan. You're already in a cluster, all right? And your goal is to make sure it's the best gift they can make, that it's not a stupid gift from their vantage, that it's a wise, shrewd, prudent, good choice for them, like a 22-year-old. When she did that, 23-year-old, 1% of a beneficiary designation is the right choice for someone that age. That's the right plan. If we do that, then we have a chance over time to say, oh, when this happens, this happens, this happens, here are other life stage gifts. Because life stage gifts is where the activity is happening. That is absolutely where it's happening. Scott said, none of us have a federal estate tax problem. So as we get older and we simplify our states or get rid of our Lake Wawasee property or whatever, we should be thinking, can I use a charitable plan for part of this? Doesn't have to be all, it can be part of this. All right, I have to tell you this story because this is how Plan Giving really works, and I'm so darn proud of this story. Oh, and let me herald what Jean also said about the Community Foundation. The Community Foundation